Welcome back to the Richest Man of Baltimore channel. First of all, I want to thank everybody who supported thus far. I personally didn't start this channel to ask people to subscribe. I wanted to just literally just give value and see if I could reach the right people. I want to let you guys know that I do not take for granted that you have taken time to watch any of my videos. It means the world to me, and I really want to just reiterate that you guys sharing and liking and sharing these messages is going to have the greatest impact. So thanks again so much. This video specifically is going to be the start of a conversation series, and I have a special guest with me today, none other than my beautiful mother. What's up, Mom?
Hey, son. How are you?
I'm doing great.
You look great. You look great.
Same here. So, first of all, guys, this is important because, I started this series to share that Rich had nothing to do with money. All right, it's a lot bigger than just money. All right, y'all know if you've been watching for any given time, you've learned that the acronym RICH is for relationships, investments, contribution, which we're going to be majorly focusing on today, and health. And if you haven't already, you should definitely join our Step Into Better Health Challenge. It is a game-changing experience where we're going to monetize individuals to walk and change their healthy habits. If you haven't, you can go ahead and check that out. Link in the description. But let's stay locked in. So I wanted to interview my mom personally because it's a great example of what investing in your relationships can look like. I'll be completely transparent. Me and my mom didn't have the greatest relationship growing up, but we've gotten closer as we got older. We've made progress, and I think that our relationship can inspire others out there because people don't really know how to deal with conflict resolution. Usually their first response is just, cut people off. And I know I talked about the law of association and how you want to remove people who are, don't have your best interests at heart. But we can self-sabotage ourselves in relationships too. And it's important to understand that if the people that do show that they have the best interest in your heart, that you should be willing to work and come to a loving, reciprocal relationship that can be positive and conducive to everyone around you. And I think that is where we've come. We've been able to work together despite everything that we've been through.
Absolutely.
And I want you to know that this is our moment to honor you. I'm very proud of the person that I'm staring at. I know everything that you've gone through. I mean, I know your story. I have had to go through my own experience to find the grace that I need to offer you for us to have the relationship that we have today. And I've seen you become a very selfless, giving, loving person, and it's one of the things that inspired me to be who I am. Mm-hmm. So that's why I wanted to bring you on here to interview you, to find out what made that shift and where did that shift come from. I share a lot to people, telling people like my life changed when I realized it had nothing to do with me. When I realized it was about how I could impact others. So a lot of that has come from just being inspired by other people. So I have a series of questions I'm going to ask you, and feel free. But before we get started, let's get with your introduction. Let's tell everybody who you are, and yeah.
Well, again, my name is Lisa, and I am many things. I used to associate myself to the roles I played, but now I just associate myself to who I am. So I try to be loyal, loving, kind. I'm God-fearing. And a light. I try to be a light. I try to bring light in wherever situations I am in. So that's who I sum myself up to be. Yes, I do play many roles. I'm a daughter, I'm a mother, as you know, I'm a grandmother, I'm a friend. So in the totality, I'm a lot of things, but the one thing that I take most pride in is being kind. Being kind, it goes a long way. And it's the difference between being nice and kind, and we've talked about that. Mm-hmm. So being kind.
Absolutely. And as a matter of fact, you don't got to take it from me. Go to Sam, put up something on the screen. Look up the definition of nice and the etymology of the word. Nice, actually, if you look it up, and Sam sure has popped up on the screen, it means foolish. All right, and you've all heard the phrase "nice guy finishes last." That actually is it's a pun, but it actually does have some relativity to it. It's not that God is not to be nice; it's to be kind, right? You don't have to be a pushover to be successful in life. You don't have to be somebody that people can take advantage of. You don't have to be somebody that people just don't have respect for. You know, like a lot of times people's their niceness, not kindness. Kindness rarely gets taken for weakness, but niceness oftentimes can be taken for weakness, because in some forms it is. But more importantly, that's a conversation for another day. Being kind, and this is what this conversation is all about. You know, this is what a contribution is about. It's an act of kindness. So we'll roll right into this. So let's start with the first question. What inspired you to start Quick to Give?
Well, I think it was when I realized that giving brought me joy. I felt like a lot of times we search for joy, we look for it in so many different ways, and I just realized the most that I felt joy was when I was giving. And so it inspired me to want to give more.
Absolutely. The saying, it's better to give to receive,
Yes.
is a very true
Absolutely.
statement, for sure. Again, I don't want to assume that everyone knows what Quick to Give is, but Quick to Give is a nonprofit organization that has, and obviously my mother's actually going to talk about it, but it has a anonymous giving strategy that we think is very, very unique and very important. So why is that the strategy that you wanted to go about with Quick to Give?
I chose the anonymous way because I feel like a lot of times when we give, a lot of people think when you give to them it's performance based. So they just start assuming that you gave them because you love them or because they did something great. When you give anonymously to a person, they don't know why you're giving, so they're just finding value in themselves. It's not performance based, it's just showing I am valuable. Somebody took the time to do something kind for me. And it takes the performance based out, which we know we are in a performance driven world. And sometimes it's just nice to be valued as a person.
Definitely would have to agree. And I love the concept, because when you don't know who you're helping, you can't expect anything in return from them.
Absolutely.
And that's the best. I think that's what makes us unique. And so we are still in the process of fully launching this in the marketplace. But as of right now, again, you guys have some sentiments of what we're trying to do, and what we're going to do is we're going to anonymously be kind and have an impact on people that we can never expect anything in return from, which is the greatest form of giving. It's the most genuine form of giving, and this is why I know a lot of people are going to get behind this, and we're going to find ways to impact people. Be selective but anonymous at the same time, so that it makes sense. So now, what specific problems does Quick to Give aim to solve?
Well, we try to bridge the gap. I remember, being a single mother, there was, and knowing other single mothers, there was a lot of programs that helped with food, housing, and things like that, but there was not a lot of resources to help fill the gaps. So, for instance, we gave essential baskets, which included washing powder so that you could wash your children's clothes for school. Things that you needed around the house, which, you couldn't buy with, the help of food stamps or, EBT card. And I'm just being realistic here. So we try to bridge the gaps to help fill those needs that, mothers or any, caretakers need in order to just live an essential life, that things that they need normally on a day-to-day basis.
Love that. Essential. We learned the pandemic how important essential things are for the house. I mean, we already knew it because it's obvious, but that is cool. So just to be clear, basically, one of the ways that Quick to Give is going to use the resources from donations is going to make sure that people have essential items in their home.
Absolutely.
That's beautiful. That's powerful. Like, who couldn't get behind that? It is important, and it does have a direct impact on people. So I love it. I think it's very powerful. All right, Ma. So another question. Could you share a story or a moment that made you realize the impact of Quick to Give?
Sure. So I received a phone call from a great friend of mine. Shout out to Vaughn if she sees this.
Shout out to Vaughn.
Yes, she's living in Maryland, and I was in Texas at the time. And she called me and told me that a mother and her daughters were moving to Texas, and she didn't know anyone, and she just needed some help, And so just locating schools and getting, settled in Texas. And so I reached out to her, and she was telling me, this is new to me. I don't know anything. I don't have much. And I was able to help her. And that moment made me realize that sometimes it doesn't take a whole lot. You know, when we think about doing, sometimes we think it has to be a whole lot before it really makes an impact, but it could be the smallest things to us, but such a great deal to others. So that, me just helping her in a small way, in my eyes, made a huge difference for her and her daughters. So that inspired me to just remember that small things in the right spirit goes a long way. And so, yes, it just made me want to do more.
Got you. Makes complete sense to me. I mean, you had an impact on someone, and it has an impact on you, and it makes you want to keep doing it. So I love that. Next question, and this is for people who want to possibly start a nonprofit themselves. What challenges have you faced in running and starting and running a nonprofit, and what have you done? How have you overcome?
Well, I think there's a lot of, sometimes people be like, where's the money going? How do I know that if I give money, it's going to those places that you say it's going to, especially if you're doing it anonymously, right? So you have to build trust. Like, people have to trust you as a person. You have to have some credibility before you start a nonprofit. If they see that if you have a background where you've actually cared about people and they've seen you being a giving person, just as, a single person doing things, they will trust you more. So building that credibility is always a great thing when you're starting a nonprofit, because again, people really don't get a return on their money, especially knowing exactly where the money is going. So when you build that trust, I think building the trust is probably the hardest thing if people don't know you, that their money is actually going to the cause that you say it's going to.
Love it. And shout out to Shabazz Associates. Shabazz Associates is the tribal lawyer. Shout out to Kojo. He's the tribal lawyer that is actually creating the nonprofit for Quick to Give. Those of you who are interested in starting a nonprofit or getting a tax-exempt entity, which I discussed in previous videos, Shabazz Associates is the perfect and only person to have that conversation with. Just to give you guys, real proof, this is my indigenous ID here for my tax-exempt Amontio Mansa Musa Trust LLC that was created tax-exempt by Shabazz Associates. The nonprofit will have the documentation to present and share, and all the information will be on the website where you'll be able to donate and make contributions to Quick to Give. But again, just want to remind you guys, we're creating a network of social missions and social causes, because like I said, it is the fastest way and the best way to reach your audience and to grow your business in 2025 and beyond. And we need impact. This is the greatest time to make impact, and Quick to Give is certainly going to be one of those social missions and one of those causes that has a direct impact on changing the future and creating a world that we can be proud that we live in. So as we come to close, for those who are watching, how can they get involved with Quick to Give? Whether it's volunteering, donations, partnerships, anything, how can they get involved?
Well, we do take donations right now through Cash App, and it's Cash App Quick to Give, $ Quick to Give. And we do let you know what we're doing. So if you do donate, we will let you know what's going on for that month, if we're doing anything particular, or if we're just meeting a need that someone may refer to us. It could be someone that just needs, money for food or money for clothes or money, whatever we referred, we use that money, but we will let you know how we will use the money.
Absolutely. And I think that's awesome. The transparency,
yes.
I think you can't really beat that. A lot of times that's what people are most worried about when they are contributing. So love it, love it, love it. Now, besides financial contributions, what other forms of support does Quick to Give need?
Well, if you have any resources or any talents that you feel like you can share, whether it be through education, we need, time management, skills. We need budgeting skills. If you have money management skills, anything that you feel like you can bring to Quick to Give to help people, to educate them. We're big on education. Yes, we do give monetary, but we're big on education, which is why We want to even get, more involved with the health, leading people back to health. So anything that makes people better, if you have something, please share.
Absolutely love it. And just to be clear, Quick to Give is the charity that is going to be directly impacted through Step Into Better Health Challenge. So know that all 10% of the proceeds, and sometimes we may decide to use another social mission, but 10% of the proceeds will go to Quick to Give. So that is a part of the social cause there. Now, my final, just to wrap everything up, I just want to remind you guys that contribution is a major part of your success and happiness. All right, there's success and then there's significance, and success comes from you accomplishing your goals, doing things that are relevant to you and your family. Significance is what you do for those who may never meet you, who you can't benefit from your gift or your act of kindness to them. And we want to be people with both success and significance. And again, Mom, I just want to thank you so much. This won't be the last episode. We're going to come back here, at least once a quarter to just tell you guys some of the things that we've done, maybe even bring on some of the people that we've been able to impact. And we'll bring you guys in on some behind the scenes stuff for Quick to Give. In the meantime, you guys keep being great. Do you have any final words before we go?
Yes, I'm definitely excited about partnering with Gourmet Trey. We're going to be doing some things in the future, so
Yes.
definitely be on the lookout for that.
Absolutely. So you see what she's let you know that her and my wife are up to something. So really looking forward to that. You guys get a chance to meet my wife in a future episode. But the very next episode, we're gonna get back into the money. All right. I had a conversation with myself this morning, and it's big money if you didn't know. Big business minus the business suit. I want you to look in the mirror and ask yourself, is it you? Are you the hottest? You are the greatest. We're going to have these conversations about what you need to do, how you need to talk to yourself, how you need to see yourself in order to manifest and attract the things that you want in life so you can make the contribution that you want to make. In the meantime, I'm Moncio. Peace. All right, y'all, I've been sharing a lot of stuff about that tribal tax exempt entity, but I want to give you guys some background on that, not to get too deep, but we were not given a fair shot at life, all right? We were not given a fair chance at having the right things that we needed in order to be successful. So I'll come around some beneficial information that can help us all, and I'm just going to simply read this preamble, and I believe it'll resonate with you. We, the people of Aboriginal Republic of North America, asserting our national Aboriginal rights as the oldest recorded Aboriginal indigenous peoples of the America, consisting of an Aboriginal union of indigenous peoples living in accord with natural law, the law of our ancestors, do hereby recognize all nationals of the Aboriginal Republic of North America as united community, establish our divine right to self-rule, a common defense of our nation, a complete unified will for progress and prosperity by and for our people, establishing justice by way of natural law and equality, and complete autonomy as a nation. The reason I'm reading this to you is because I want you to know that you have natural rights that you have not tapped into simply due to ignorance. All right, this is my indigenous American ID that I use, and it has a tax exempt status. All right, if you are a Aboriginal, which if your blood type is similar to the one like mine, which 90% of people who are brown skinned like me and you, you have a right to be able to claim your nationality. And what comes with that is your ability to get a tax exemption on this land. All right, I want to see all of you guys taking advantage of this, and I'm going to leave the information for you how you can do just that in the description below. All right, you're gonna get this ID that you can take and take it anywhere when you go to set up your accounts, when you go to purchase things, so you can get tax exemption. And it's very important. I want to see you guys using this Aboriginal, indigenous owned, black owned company, Dash 9. We're creating these wallets and making sure you guys have these IDs. And we've also partnered with Arcana Tax Solutions to make sure you can get a high limit credit card so that you can invest in yourself, your business, and your ideas. So you have no excuses. Now is the time for us to be locked in so that we can be as productive as we need to be over this next few decades. See you guys. I'm on. See you. I'm out.